Good day, everybody. Brian here for quantlabsnet.com. I want to say first thanks to the person that sent this to me. As usual, same source. He's got amazing posts. So initially I saw this, I didn't see the salary because that's the first thing I look for, but I did find it. It was pointed right here because I'm blind. $700,000 dollars per year. So when you go to the bottom, you can see here total compensation 250 to 300 base, 750 plus. That's a total compensation. So what's this job about? I've gone over about these kind of jobs before. I haven't done one in a long time. This is now February 2025. So we know there's a lot of supply out there for folks applying for these type of jobs. There are lots of people trying to get into high frequency trading, which is fine. And there's more applicants, bad applicants probably. This job came out, I don't know when, but I did see it had 100 applicants, came out 3 days ago. So hopefully these people are smart enough to know that they most likely won't qualify, including me. Anyways, let's go through the job description. So let's just assume 700,000 exists. It's US dollar. Highly skilled, motivated quant developer to join its team. So this is not a team lead. This is like just, hey, you're a quant developer focused on building, optimizing high performance trading systems. Ideal candidate will have a strong background in quant, finance, algo trading, high performance computing. So high performance computing usually means C++ or even assembler. You will work closely with traders, quant researchers, and software engineers to develop and enhance uh, systems that support high frequency trading strategies and large scale market data processing. If you've seen my video on Optiver or my blog post at quantlabsnet.com, you can see how an example how they do this. It's pretty fascinating. And I've also got a book on it to explain how this kind of works at a very high level. Again, if you want to see that, go to the quantlabsnet.com website, click on Learn, and voila, you get yourself a book by opting in. Pretty simple there. Also, let's continue. This is what you're doing. Design, develop, optimize. And remember what I've said before. These are very vague job descriptions. You send your resume in, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Develop, optimize high performance trading systems for low latency, high frequency trading. So basically, you got to most likely need to know the Linux kernel pretty good, Linux itself, C++, all the things that on the low end. Implement improved trading algorithm focusing on performance, scalability, and reliability. Collaborate with quant researchers and traders to integrate advanced mathematical models into production systems. This is the tough one. This is the tough one. Mathematical models. But I will now say, with a lot of the LLMs out there now, this is going to get much easier and also much easier with some of the model LLM models that I've seen that will go through a complete description of how these are generated, which is pretty amazing. And then be able to code it in a whatever language you want, C++ or Python. It's pretty mind-boggling where we're at with these things. So that is a way to do it. And this kind of hate to say it will also commoditize this whole practice and makes it less valuable. Okay. Analyze large data sets to actionable insights and improve trading strategies. Again, you send it a piece of code, and then it can optimize it and tweak it. And I would only recommend to minimal code snippets because these things will go in and store the code. So if you're sending it to something like DeepSeek out of China, and remember they originally started as a quant hedge fund, I'm sure your questions will be highly valued, um, and your prompts will be highly valued to do that. Optimize system performance to ensure minimal latency and maximum throughput handling high frequency trading volumes. Again, that's C++. Build and maintain efficient data pipelines for market processing, storage, and retrieval. Again, most likely C++. You can do this in Java, but most likely C++ is the better way. Build and maintain, okay, troubleshoot and resolve issues in production systems and ensuring high availability and performance. That's going to get really hairy. It's not going to be like looking for a needle in a haystack because you're going to be looking at other people's code to figure out what's going on in these so-called production systems to ensure high availability and performance. So you got to be very good to look at other people's code. And knowing people, if they're not properly commenting or documenting their code, well, you're going to be looking at what we call a hornet's nest. And you better be able to be very good to be able to reverse engineer that however they allow you to do that. That's a very difficult thing to do, especially if they're using something like a TMP, meta programming. Contributed to the development of new features and enhances based on trading desk requirements. Okay, that's standard. Ensure code quality through rigorous testing, code reviews, maintain best practices in software engineering. So, out of these job descriptions, which one do you think are these responsibilities will get you most likely fired if you can't do it? I'm going to personally say troubleshoot and resolve production systems. That's going to be the high. If you can't do that in current code that you've never seen, that's where you're going to fail. Just my thoughts. Bachelor or master's degree in computer science, engineering, mathematics, or related field. See how they start, and this is where the vagueness comes in. It's okay. If you got a bachelor's, you can apply. But if you're a college dropout, don't have a bachelor's, don't bother applying. Now, this is code right here saying, well, we'll accept the resume. It doesn't mean we'll look at it. Along comes a master's degree, exactly same experience you got, but who's going to get looked at more? The master's degree. And notice they don't put PhD in here as well. So it's the same process with the PhD. So what they're trying to do here, it sounds like to get as many resumes as possible, that at least where they have a bachelor. Strong proficiency in programming languages doesn't specifically say, and they'll say that because of competitive reasons, but you got to know your C++, Python, or Java. I think you need to know all three at the most deepest level possible, specifically in C++. And I've gone through C++ many times over the last 6 months, showing you all the different styles of C++ coding to do these responsibilities. But you better be very top notch at it to make this kind of income. Python much easier, and then Java as well. So we don't know what language they're using. I think it's going to be C++. It could be Java for all I know, right? And there's not a lot of Java people talking about Java as much as Python or C++. Not saying Java is no good. Java has its has its limitations, especially on the memory handling because of the garbage collector, as an example. Okay, experience in developing and optimizing low latency, high frequency trading systems. Let's go through this here. Now, out of those 100 applicants, how many of these 100 applicants do you think that have been laid off and already have that experience or similar experience from a competitor of this firm? I would say pretty high. So if you're starting from ground zero with zero experience from this field, you're up against those folks on top of what they already bring to the table on their skills and their education. Okay. So again, I have said this before and before and before, so important. Strong, not just basic understanding or come in, we'll train you kind of thing. They are looking for strong understanding, market microstructure, financial instruments, and trading strategies. Now, this is where my course comes in. If you want to be light years ahead of everybody else applying in this field without the knowledge of futures, without the knowledge of options, and without the knowledge of how it's coded up in C++ or Python, you don't have a stinking chance because you just said the word or read the word strong. So on top of all the skills I've already mentioned, you also have to be very strong in these three areas. And that's what my long ass 25 plus video course goes through. And we're already adding code to it. Okay, so I've stressed that before, and you can get on my email list to learn more. Okay, and just leave it at that. I guess they'll say. Um, Experience with distributed systems and technologies such as Kafka, Kubernetes, and AWS is a plus. So they must be a cloud operation with AWS. If it's a plus, because that's what they use, that's how it usually is phrased. Kafka Kubernetes they could be using in other areas. It helps. But you can see it's very well rounded out. Okay, so here comes the quant stuff. Familiarity. It's not like strong, but familiarity with quant models, statistical methods, and machine learning is advantageous. So if you have all three of these, again, that's going to be where you're going to be using your baseline of your knowledge, strong knowledge, I must add, in options and futures, laying out all the different type of strategies you can apply that you can learn from my course. And on top of that, being able to use the quantitative methods, math methods, using the statistical methods as well, and taking over machine learning methods as well. And you can see here it's an advantageous. When you see the word advantageous and you have it, they'll look at you. If you don't have it, don't send your resume in. Another one to see here is you got to have AWS is a plus. Same logic here. If they put this is the plus and you have it, plus you have the machine learning as an advantage, then proceed to send in your resume. Because let me explain how this recruiter will work. Selby Jennings is one of the largest recruiters in the field of high frequency trading, quant operations. If you send your resume to these guys unqualified, I can guarantee you they will put your resume in a crap list, meaning your resume will never ever be looked again at by human recruiter ever at Selby Jennings. I think this is one of the reasons why there's so low applicants. Because if you just send out and blast out your resume to this firm thinking you'll get noticed, no, you'll do more damage to yourself than you know, because they'll put you on a list that you're just wasting their time and you won't get noticed at all. Okay, so I've already gone through the quant modeling. Excellent problem solving skills with the ability to work in a fast, high pressure environment. Okay, problem solving is the standard problem solving. What I think what they're looking for is they're looking for master mathematicians, meaning the kind of people that will look at something like matrices and be able to visually see how a matrix uh, uh, will work and then spit out a response in their brain without needing to use some type of technology. So when you see fast paced and high pressure, this is the basic lingo saying you're going to be sleeping under your desk and you're going to enjoy it. So if you have a family, if you have a wife, a girlfriend, you'll never be seen again as well. Because the expectation when they're paying these kind of dollars, you better be willing to live first for this employer. And you better be wanting to be basically very driven in this field as well. That's why they pay very well, because people like this, there's not a lot of them out there, and that don't exist. They want to hang on to these people at the same time, and they'll pay them big money if they're really, really good and bring a lot of value to this firm. Strong communication skills with the ability to collaborate across the team. So let me explain this. Where's this company out of? I believe it's got to be U.S. Um, if it's Chicago, I'm going to assume it's Chicago or, yeah, New York. Okay. So English has got to be your first language, I would think. A lot of these folks will probably be speaking in lingo. And if they got to repeat what they want out of you three times, your level of communication skills is not up to snuff. I hate to say that, but that's the reality. So a lot of people get into this business because they think, and I've been told this multiple times, a lot of, I'll just say Asians will get into this space because they say, well, we don't have to talk to a lot of people. So they get in, they just program and go, yeah, okay, we'll do that. That's it. So I would imagine this is going to be something that they'll be looking out for to uh, filter out people, not just that have that mentality and that these kind of skills that are needed, but they will want to make sure that you properly know how to and the word is strong communication skills. And I'm going to say in English, and especially in the New York Wall Street lingo as well. I'm sure of it. Okay, so these are the preferred skills. Oh, and it's a remote job. Funny that. Okay, that's rare. Yeah, like really rare. Experience in high frequency or algorithmic trading, including order routing and execution strategies. So that's probably where you're going to lie. You're going to be doing order book stuff. You're probably going to do routing to all these different systems and putting it through some kind of pricing engine. Fine. You got to be good at it. Knowledge of low latency networking protocols and techniques. It sounds about right. What I'm thinking that this is more on the pricing engine side, the matching engine, um, because that or the order book. That's pretty complicated stuff. I'd say that that's the most complicated style of programming in all the HFT. So if you're good at that, then yeah, kudos for you. Experience with database systems, Postgres, Redis, or Timescale DB. I've talked enough about both Postgres and Redis. Redis, I know in memory, uh, message queuing as an example for Redis. Postgres has the ability for vector based machine learning stuff. I'll just say that. I'm no expert in it, but Postgres can do that. A lot of a lot of startups as well use it because it's free. Redis used to be free, but it's now commercial. Maybe they're using an older version. I don't know. But something tells me they're not using a database, but they're using something like this. I should say they have a database that they built. But this is similar in patterns like this. Goldman Sachs has their own database as well, and a lot of banks and big firms do. This is a big firm for sure. I'm sure this is a brand name uh, firm that we know. They're just being secretive about it. Now it comes back to the education. So advanced degree, even though it said bachelor, now they're specifying what they want, master's or PhD. They want a PhD. We'll leave it at that. Quant discipline, computer science, applied math, or financial engineering. All those three are very important. I would say out of all those skills, probably applied math is the, actually, let me repeat. Applied math out of that list is the most important. What they really want are people coming out of physics that are computer masters. I've said this time and time before. I've shown the proof. People that are trained in physics think a certain way from a problem solving way of thinking. That's what these firms want. So if you have a PhD in, let's say, in physics, with all these other skills that I already talked about, you're probably well ahead of getting hired. On top of uh, getting that nice little, and probably they pay more. So hopefully this will lay out what is really required. 20-minute video, just being really truthful here. Now, again, I've talked about this. If you want to know more about the HFT stuff, what goes into these platforms and these systems in it from an HFT firm point of view, get this book. I've got two more in the can. The other big thing that I have just started today, actually last night, if you want to talk to me for like two questions, let's say, you can reach me. I'll put it in the description as well on the WhatsApp as well. So you can reach out to me on that. That's brand new. So I'll put that link in there as well, but it's limited what I can offer. Um, but I'm putting this out there because I'm noticing a lot of career related stuff, but this one's the ideal kind of thing that people want in income, but don't um, understand the requirements and what's needed. And when you get this type of job, what will happen to you? It's critical people understand that. Critical also to understand you can't just ray gun your resume as an application to this type of firm, okay? Selby Jennings, because if they don't like what they see, you've applied for something that you clearly know that you're not qualified for, um, you will be, I hate to say, uh, probably put on some kind of banned list unless some junior job like cleaning out the garbage in these firms, you might qualify for that. But that's about it. So be aware of that. Um, Look at that. For me, I only have 1 in 10 skills match. Anyways, it's all about buzzy words as well. So be aware of that. Okay. And if you want follow links that I provide as well. Thanks. Have a good day. Hello, everybody. Brian here from quantlabsnet.com. I've just put up a video on some of the requirements needed for a very high paying, just quant developer job. And I've gone over the vast job description and what needs to be acquired in terms of knowledge. Part of it also included the trading that I've talked about over the last pile of videos. And now we're just going to specifically go into where you can go with quant analysis as a graduate. As a graduate. Okay, so this post I saw on quant.stackexchange.com. This could get pulled, okay? This could get pulled. Okay, so it's already been not pulled, but off topic in quant.stackexchange.com. Today is February 4th as well, 2025. So here we go. I want to show you all the different areas that this guy can go through. Final year of the BSc in Data Science and at a technological institution will be starting my MSSE next year. Background includes time series analysis, market microstructure, stochastic calculus, game theory, blockchain, and DeFi. I have also researched experience in blockchain from a game theoretic perspective. So this guy's obviously not really wanting to go after a Wall Street job in a traditional sense. He's wanting crypto related or blockchain. I'll probably give you my advice where this guy should go in that area and my opinion on it. But let's go through this. Highly interested in quantitative analysis or finance, particularly in algo trading, microstructure. I've gone through that. My course covers a lot of that. Automated market maker, my course covers that pretty good, but that's from a human perspective. Auto market maker dynamics and limit order book modeling. This is what the job that I posted on YouTube kind of sounds like it's gearing towards, especially in the context of DeFi. I'd like to write my thesis on a topic within this domain. However, I faced the challenge that none of the professors at my institute specialize in quantitative finance. Well, why is that? You should have gone to a bigger school. I don't know. Anyways, closest field I could have access to is theoretical stochastic calculus and blockchain research from a computer science and algorithmic game theory perspective. In my country, okay, maybe country specific, I don't know. I have only found researchers in mathematical finance, but not in quantitative finance with a strong data science component. That's bizarre. You think that mathematical finance will definitely know about quant and this area, data science as well, because it's a growing trend, even in the world of legacy banks and hedge funds. The challenges, thesis problem. Believe if I propose a concrete, well-formulated research question that aligns with my interest as a researcher in my institution, stochastic calculus or blockchain, that might agree to supervise me. However, I'm struggling to find a problem that is both academically significant and suitable for a thesis, not too easy or too hard. What are the methodologies and techniques to find suitable problem? What are some promising research directions at the intersection of quant finance, algo trading, and DeFi? I'll answer these. How can I ensure the problem is novel and relevant to academia? This is the hard part. Identifying the right research community. Given my interest with academic fields beyond quant finance should I explore? What journals and conferences should I follow to stay updated? Who are some key researchers and thought leaders in this space? Finding relevant literature. You can see how complicated it is. It's just for a graduate coming out of quant, quote unquote quant. Do you know of any recent papers on AMM dynamics or LOB modeling in DeFi or market microstructure in decentralized markets? Are there any terminologies or methodologies I should look at that may help bridge my interest, my existing academic research? Alternative approaches. If pursuing a quant finance thesis in my current environment is too difficult, what other strategies would you recommend for gaining research experience in this domain? Would it be advised to reach out to researchers abroad for potential remote collaboration? Okay, let's cover his questions. All right. So, what are methodologies and techniques to find a suitable problem? Well, if he's not able to find in a school, part of the problem is his school. I think he needs to be in a more, if you go on to quantnet.com, I think it's quantnet.com, the big forum, you'll find all the schools rated for quant. You should be in one of those schools for the profs that are interested in this space and that will help students like this. So he could be in the wrong school. What are some of the promising research directions at the intersection of quant finance, algorithmic trading, and DeFi? There's a ton here, but what do you define as DeFi? Because DeFi, to me, true DeFi, was before the regulators stepped in. So when you look at Bitcoin, maybe Monero even, that's DeFi. So anything that's not regulated, that does not have know your customer, is not regulated, that's DeFi. That's because it's decentralized finance, meaning there's no form of regulation in this space. If there is regulation, it's no longer DeFi. So if he's looking at DeFi in a pure sense where there's no government regulation involved with a know your customer and anti-money laundering and all that, then he can follow the path of where things like Binance is, where countries are not breathing down Binance's neck for the regulation to be part of um, Binance, to have this KYC and AML. Binance should operate in some of those countries. That's where that Binance, the real in volume DeFi exists. There's other exchanges out there that enable it. They're tiny. They have no volume. If you want to reverse engineer one like that, you can look at some of the exchanges that are all open source. There's one that I can't come to mind. If you want to learn how that exchange works, you can learn from that. Maybe somebody's got a comment on that exchange, but it's tiny, but it's fine. It's fine for reverse engineering. Now, if you're willing to go down the path of government regulation, that's going to make your life a lot easier because now you could find all kinds of things for algo trading and quant finance. Okay, tons of stuff in there, Wall Street related, London related, and specifically in futures and options. Again, where my course comes in to learn all that, very long, 25 videos. So there's different areas to go into. Chicago's a really good city for that because a lot of the big successful HFT shops and firms are going to be in Chicago because they focus on options and futures. And as I said, I just put up a video on a very high paying job for exactly this sort of stuff, paying $750,000 up to in total compensation, US out of New York. Okay, identifying the right research community. This is hard to say what works and what doesn't work. There's lots of people that will talk a lot coming out of the academia space. This brings me back to the focus of languages like R. And these people are very uh, fanatical, I'll just say, because they have a fancy schmancy um, paying job in their school. They're working with free languages like R, focusing on the space of quant finance. But here's what you need to be very aware. Those are just professors. Those are academia. And I can almost guarantee you a lot of them have not traded live. So I'll pump out these research papers, but there's no real live trading, no multi-year track record from these professors. So if that's the space you want to be in that kind of community, but that don't really trade, then you got to step outside of the world of academia. And then there's probably lots of places to go. The world leading, it will be my next answer here. What journals and conferences should I follow to stay updated? From what I see, as I mentioned one already, quantnet.com is one. The other one that used to be a standard was wilmot.com as well, where a lot of um, uh, institutional players are there. One other one that I've not never talked about is on Blind the app. So like Blind I can't see Blind the app, I think blind.com. They have some uh, talk about this sort of stuff, but again, they are from the uh, the industry that you're seeking. So there's two different views. You could follow only the academia that goes deep into the quant finance, but don't live trade normally. Or if you want what the academia offers, but yet you want to follow those that are live trading as well. So um, this forum is a good one that I've seen. As long and the other ones I mentioned, Wilmont and a few other ones. From what I also understand, if you do the CQF, they have a postgraduate community of people, and only internally you get access to their resources. Another area that I have been told that's good is Bloomberg. A lot of their live talk sessions is good as well. They did do some live quant talks. I don't know if they still do those in New York as well. You have to be in the financial centers to really take advantage of the live conferences and thought leaders. One guy that I do like, Marco de la Prados. He's a doctor, originally from Spain. He's a quant head of, I think it's Qatar Wealth Fund, and yeah, follow him. He's good. Ernie Chan's another good one as well. And okay, so finding relevant literature. This define AMM dynamics and LOB is probably out there. There's lots of talks on there, but they're very high level. And again, they're not in practice. I think those are fine, but in order to really get good at this, and let's say if it's DeFi, you have to code it. You have to go out, code it up what you want to do. Could take a lot of time, and then put it on GitHub. And that's another way to get the attention of other folks, namely job recruiters. If you put up those kind of projects on places like GitHub to showcase your coding skills, because that will get you a lot of attention. I've talked about that before, and I did an interview with a student about that last year about it, who went to NYU as well. And you have to have what this guy's already showing, the initiative to ask questions like this on a place like the Quant Stack Exchange. Are there terminology or methodology I should look into and help bridge my interest with existing academia research? As I said, you got to know how to separate yourself from the academia world into the industrial practice world. Because, as I said, with the academia, it's just they have those jobs to play safe, or they're failed traders moving into academia, or a lot of the failed traders will move into consulting to set up and help shops uh, fill out, to do this technology on a consulting basis. So you have to be aware of that, and you want to really follow traders, and these are very rare, that have an actual third-party verified track record. I don't even know of anyone in that space that has that, but that's what I'd follow, because you want to follow traders that have what you're seeking, that are profitable. It's one thing to say, well, I'm into this stuff, but I want to know how it works and follow somebody. You got and make sure they're verified as well with a solid track record. Those are very rare. I will tell you that as from my perspective. So you got to really know what you want. Maybe my guidance may help. I don't know, but this is really important to know. Okay, so again, being caught up in the DeFi space is not going to help you. There's specific for crypto, yes, but again, how do you define DeFi is the question. Okay. So the terminology and methodology you'll get from a lot of the research papers, but it has to be the right source. So again, if it's from a real trader, a real live trader with a PhD doing all this research, those are who I follow. Because it's one thing to put out research papers and just be all theoretical, but not have the practice behind it, meaning profitable trades for multi-year using whatever they're putting out probably doesn't exist. And even if it did, they're not going to share it. So the only other way to get in that is getting an internship at one of these firms and learning through how the business works. And believe me, these big trading shops, these high frequency trading shops and the like market makers know that. And they're going to keep you in a silo. So you're not going to learn the vast operation. And if they do, they're probably losing money and won't last as a business. because then they know that you'll go out and blab it or start yourself as a competitor to them. Alternative approaches. If pursuing quant finance thesis is my current environment is too difficult, what other strategies would you recommend for gaining research experience in this domain? I just said that, right? Would it be advisable to reach out to other researchers abroad for potential remote collaboration? This is very easy to you most likely will have to reach out abroad internationally to find the people that you're looking for and the real experienced people, unless it's like a Ray Dalio in his 70s and he's putting out some gems when he's in retirement. What's the likelihood you'll get a guy like that to collaborate with? So the only ones you'll probably collaborate realistically with is people like you at your, call it junior level, and then you partner up, come out with something. But the more mid, senior, I just don't see it unless they're retired and want to give back to the community that they were part of as in a profession level. But yeah, those are hard to find. And the only collaborators you'll probably find are people in your age group, most likely. Okay, so here's another option, but I'm going to toot my own because that's what these videos are for. Um, you can always go to quantlabsnet.com, click learn, get a specific ebook I put out about HFT, high frequency trading shops, and C++ specific. Get that here. I also got two other books as well, all free. And as I said, I'm starting to do a WhatsApp connection as well if you want to do that within limits. So I'll put that all out there and see how it goes and let me know if anybody else is in a similar space or headspace or the like. Thanks for watching.